Hi guys and welcome to new HOI4 video. Just some 5 hours ago I uploaded a video showing you an exploit with which you can get infinite manpower in HOI4. It's a very easy exploit to set up and it's very useful. If you haven't already seen it, please check it out. After some deep thinking I thought to myself, this DLC isn't that bad, right? It's totally not filled with even more bugs. But then I spent like 1 more hour of testing the new faction system and I discovered another exploit, which lets you get infinite experience. Let's jump right into it. First thing you need is the ability to create and dismantle factions. Some countries can do it right from the get-go, some of them can do focuses, some of them can't do anything. Because paradox, all generic countries can always finish either why we fight if they don't have neutral foreign policy or ideological fanaticism. Here I'm gonna show you this with Germany because it's the easiest way to show it. So when you create your faction, you got these faction goals. You got short term, medium term and long term. And every time you finish the goal, you get some rewards. Now you're only supposed to finish them once, but the reality is you can actually finish them multiple times. Well, you can finish most of them multiple times. Choosing army experience is probably the easiest, but you do need one harsh requirement. You need to have less than 250 infantry battalions in your entire faction. Which means that countries like United Kingdom can't really do this. They already got way more than that. Even if they deleted all their divisions, they still got lots of puppet divisions. For Soviet Union, for example, you would have to delete most of your army, but when it comes to Germany, you only need to delete a couple of divisions. You'll know that you deleted enough divisions when you go over here and check army expansions and you see another option right here. Okay, so I deleted 4 of my infantry divisions and I've shrunk my army enough. If I go over here, now I see this. Expand our infantry forces. You need to have 250 infantry battalions to complete this, and when you do it, you get 50 army experience and all of your generals gets 1 logistics skill and 400 experience. Unfortunately, you need 1 faction initiative point to assign this. Oh no, what are we gonna do? Well, let's just dismantle our faction. And let's create a new one. It doesn't matter whatever you pick when it comes to army experience, because the type of faction that you picked only determines which medium term and long term goal will be selected. Short term you always select it by yourself. And keep in mind the first selection is free. If you want to change it, however, then you have to pay 1 initiative point. So let's go over here, let's expand our infantry forces. Now by simply converting some of these smaller divisions into bigger ones, if we go over here, you'll see that we completed this. And if we unpause for 1 single hour, our army experience just went to 50. Now, this is fine. This is working as intended still. Because keep in mind, you're supposed to complete this, but you're not supposed to complete this multiple times. And they did actually code that in. However, this only works per faction. If I dismantle my faction, and if I create it again, this thing comes back. Now keep in mind, you have to shrink your army again, because right now I have over 250 and this thing won't appear. But if I shrink it below 250, the best way to do it is by converting your divisions. It's right here. So let's select it, let's convert back these divisions. Unpause for 1 single hour, 100 army experience as Germany. And you can do this over and over again. There is no point in me doing this anymore. Now let's move on to naval experience. Naval experience has some higher requirements though. The best way for me to show it to you is by playing as United Kingdom or as USA, as they both can create factions and they also have a thing that's required to get that naval XP. Now this goal is not visible to United Kingdom because it's already completed. But if I would attack to, let's say, Germany, I'll be able to see it. And that's this goal, under industrial expansion. Convoy sufficiency. At least 1000 trade convoys in your faction, currently 200. This gives you some faction power projection, 1 faction initiative point, and most importantly, every faction member with at least 200 convoys gets 50 navy experience. Since UK's faction has already over 1000 convoys, they can't see this, so they have to first fail this. The way you do it is by going to international market and selling all of your convoys, or well, a certain amount of them, but I'm gonna sell all of them. You don't actually have to sell them, we just have to be in your market. Now we got 900 convoys less than we had before, so when I go over here I'll most likely see that thing. Here it is, convoy sufficiency. At least 1000 trade convoys in LS, currently 466. I need around 550 convoys to complete this. So yeah, well, let's pick this and let's go to the international market and let's cancel this. And I just completed that and we just got 50 naval XP. Now once again, to complete this again, I'll have to dismantle the faction and I'll have to create a new one. Since it's a short-term goal, once again, we don't care what type of faction we're creating. What we do care about, however, is our convoys. Let's just put all of them in, make sure to select this goal once again, back to the international market and cancel our trade. 100 naval XP. And you can do this over and over again. Now this might be hard to pull off for some countries which got no convoys at the start of the game, like Soviet Union or Germany, which has only about 200, but USA and UK can easily do this. But you should always produce some convoys. You can also steal them from Lend-Lease later on in the game. And yeah, as long as you can get 1000 convoys in your entire faction, you can get infinite navy XP. And all that's left right now is air XP. And this one is a little bit different. Easiest countries to farm air XP with are UK and Soviet Union. The requirement for farming air XP is having 1000 deployed fighters in your faction. This is the first time United Kingdom doesn't actually have that. Now when it comes to air XP, this time it's not a short-term goal, it's a medium-term goal. And it's over here. Maintain air superiority. There's actually a second goal as well, which is long-term, and that's sustained strategic bombing campaign. This one requires you 200 strat bombers and you need to be at war. You need to actually bomb enemy states. This one just requires you to have 1000 fighters. You need to have 1000 fighters in your faction. We currently got 730. Every faction member fielding at least 250 fighters will get 50 air XP. Every faction member gets 150% research bonus for aircraft. And this bonus actually applies to everything aircraft related, not only airframes but also engines and all the modules, so it's pretty good. Not only that, you also get 100 mastery to all fighter aircraft tracks. Now this one's very easy to cheese, you just need to have 1000 fighters, that's the hardest part. Now you can make the worst possible plane ever, but I wouldn't recommend you to do that, instead make the better ones. Now the biggest issue here is that it's medium term goal, and when you create a faction it's already selected, so you have to actually select it yourself, and it costs 1 initiative point, which means you have to complete something here to actually select it yourself, or dismantle your faction and then create it and look over here. Now democracy doesn't have this option, but any other ideology does, and it's this option right here. Suppress democracy. If you go for this, your starting goal is maintain air superiority, so you don't even need that initiative point. I guess as United Kingdom you could pick any of these anyway, create a faction and then complete the convoy thing and get 1 point and then switch to that. For other ideologies it's even easier, for example Soviet Union, they also start with loads of fighters, just about 20 fighters less than UK does. Their fighters are actually even better than the British ones. Once again, you can create the worst possible fighter ever, although I don't recommend it, and just spam the hell out of it. As Soviet Union it's actually even easier because you got more military industry. You just don't have resources, but you can buy them, it doesn't matter. So you have to remove Mongolia and Tanutua from your faction when it comes to Soviet Union. If you produce nothing but the cheapest, worst possible fighter ever as Soviet Union, it would take you until August 1936 basically to get 1000 fighters. Now all you need to do is to dismantle your faction and create suppress democracy faction, name it whatever, and now you got to maintain air superiority thing here. You just need to deploy your planes and you completed it. 50 air XP. Best part about this is you don't have to uncomplete it. Basically the only reason we had to uncomplete it for army and navy XP is because the goal wouldn't show if it's already completed. But here it doesn't have to show, it's already picked when you created the faction. So all you need to do is just dismantle it, create it once again, unpause the game for literally 1 single hour, you get it. You just have to do it over and over again. This is the best of the exploits, by the way, because it's the easiest one, unless you're democratic, then it takes some extra work. And also, you don't only get air XP, you also get fighter mastery. So every time you do this after you unlock the fighter doctrine, you will get fighter mastery. You do it 5 times and you complete it. Here we go. Completed the fighter mastery in August 1936. Could have done it even in July if I tried my best. So yeah, that's the army, air, and naval experience exploit for you. So yeah, I hope you liked the video, guys. If you did, like, share, and subscribe, and see you in the next one. And bye.